Hi, everybody. Somebody sent me a frantic letter, an email, not a letter, an email. I'm old school. And asked me if I can resolve this situation for them. Now, to be clear, they're not a client of mine. They just asked if I can help. And after reading the story, I just kind of shook my head. I kind of shook my head because why did you wait so long? So I recently received this email where a person was asking if I can help them solve this situation. Their cruise has been canceled. They still want to go on the cruise. It's not about money. It's not about anything like that. They just won't let them book a cabin. And I was kind of confused by this. The only thing I could think of at the time was is this person maybe banned from a cruise line for something they've done or something like that? What the issue is, I don't know. Well, it turns out this person was having a final payment. They had a final payment coming due. And they were with a travel agent. Now, the travel agent sent them a few notices saying, hey, your final payment is coming due. Do you want to make your final payment now? Do you want to, it's due in 3 weeks from now. And then they sent another email, it's due in 2 weeks. And then they sent another email, it's due in a week. It's due, and then they finally called the travel agent, or emailed the travel agent, I should say, and said, okay, today, tomorrow is the final payment date. Make the payment tomorrow. We're heading out on the road. Here's our credit card number and everything. Gave them all the information and said, we'll be driving all day tomorrow, but please don't put it through until tomorrow. That was the deadline. So 5 p.m. that day was the deadline for the cruise. Lo and behold, the travel agent goes into work the next day. They try to put the card through, and it's declined. Now the travel agent is stuck. The money's due today, and they called this person numerous times that day, and this person was apparently traveling without a phone or had it on airplane mode or something, did not receive the call until like 11 o'clock at night, at which time they're trying to call the travel agent's office. The travel agent's gone home. Travel agent's not in the office right now. They didn't have his cell phone. He didn't work from home. He worked from an office. And then by the time they got a hold of him the next day, they said, there must have been an issue at the bank or something, but and they fixed it with the bank. It should go through now. The travel agent logged in, and lo and behold, because the payment wasn't in, the cruise had been canceled. And guess what? The ship is sold out. Completely sold out. They will not let them book another cabin. The travel agent tried frantically to call the agency, call his business development manager, say, look, it just canceled and everything. And they said, yeah, well, as soon as it canceled, somebody else happened to be looking for a cabin, and that was the only one available on the ship. And they took it. So these folks reached out to me and said, can I solve this? And I don't know if they think I am Magic Man or something like this, or if I have a direct line to the cruise line's president and get things solved. I don't, folks. But all I can do is ask questions to people. But no, that ship is completely sold out. I went in and checked out the itinerary and everything, and I could not book a cabin if I wanted to. I called into the cruise line. I said, is there any cabins put aside or anything that we get? And they said, even if there was, they're put aside for a reason. And so, no, they would not sell it out. So that's one of those warnings that I have to give to people. There are numerous things that can happen on your final payment date. It's always a good idea to think 2 weeks before final payment. If your final payment's on the 15th, think first of the month. because so many things can happen. One, you could have a hard time reaching your travel agent. Two, the credit card could have an issue. Three, websites can be down. Entire cruise lines could shut down their websites to try and get things done and reintroduce new programs and things like that, new sales, etc. They shut it down for a few. Travel agent can't get in to make your payment, or you can't get in to make your payment. Anything can happen. There are tons of issues that can possibly pop up that you can't make that final payment if you wait till the very last second, the very last day of final payment date. And by the way, final payment dates are not midnight. They're 5 p.m. of whatever head office that cruise line belongs to. So just to give you a heads up, because so many people think, well, it's midnight, right? The end of the day. No, it's by 5 p.m. usually on that day, because it sets it up for the next day's sales. It reintroduces that cabin overnight, and boom, it's up for sale first thing when they open in the morning. So yeah, this person unfortunately wanted to wait till that very last second to put in their money. And there are so many problems that can happen with this. And I feel so sorry for that poor travel agent who must have been like just frantic trying to reach this person that day when the credit card was declined, only to have no response. No response at all. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I can only, that's my worst nightmare. I recently had a situation kind of like that. We have some final payments coming up for one of our group cruises right now. And I just sent out, about 6 weeks ahead of time, I sent out, oh, by the way, final payments coming up due, folks, blah, 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 etc. And there was one person that I had no idea who they were. I don't remember. They're in my group on the cruise and everything. They're under my group number and everything. I did not know this person. There was no record of any email from this person. I have no phone number from this person. I didn't remember talking to them. I called my niece right away. Is this one of your clients that you brought in? She had no idea who they were. Normally I know, at least I recognize the name somewhat, right? And I had no idea who this person was. And it was somebody who went online, and there were two prices there, the going rate and the group cruise rate. And they said, oh, well, the group cruise rate is much cheaper, and they happen to be from my travel agency, so they booked the people in. Now, normally a travel agent will call myself or whoever's running the group and say, can I book into your group? Because some people only have 8 cabins, right? And if you take one of those cabins away, you might miss out on your own group. So this was a new agent who didn't realize this was happening. They had just called in and said, yeah, and I guess the agent on the phone saw there was a group rate for travel only. They saw this person was from travel only, and they booked him into my group. They didn't request to go into my group. They just got booked into my group. So yeah, I was frantic trying to find out who this person was with no record, only to find out later that it was somebody else's entire booking. But I had, my heart was sinking, thinking I was going to miss a passenger. And so I can only imagine what this guy was going through. And unfortunately, his client kind of brought it on himself. And I had to tell him the bad news. I said, I tried. But unfortunately, things happened and we can't book that cruise for you. Even I couldn't book it for them. And I'm sure the travel agent did everything they could. So that's a warning. Don't wait to the very last second.